Acquiring stream. You are now click here to open a browser. Let's get rid of that. Okay, well, I guess we're doing it again, Jimmy. I don't know. Okay, so that's working. So I'm going live. Let me check. Check 2. Okay, that's working. Okay. Got 1 viewer. Well, I just hung up, so now there's 0 viewers. The effects of the... Okay. Well, I guess it's working. I don't know what happened, guys. We just got done with a really awesome show, and for some reason it didn't go on my YouTube like it was supposed to, but now I think I have it on, so we're going to start all over again. Sorry, Jimmy. So this is the reason why I'm going live, guys, right now, is I wanted to talk to my local shop owner, Jimmy Shearer. He is the owner of Infinite Vapor USA. He has a shop in Toledo, and he also has a shop in Genoa, Ohio. And what we were talking about was this proposed flavor ban and everything that's going on in the media with vaping and what it's doing to, our communities, the false news and the false allegations, as well as what's happening to local vape shops. So I wanted to get it from Jimmy's side. So with that being said, I guess, welcome again, Jimmy. So hey, how are you?
Thanks for stopping in.
Hey, no problem, sir. Sorry that we just wasted an hour of your time to have something fluky happen. I think it's the government.
I'm also streaming on our Infinite Vapor Toledo page as well.
Good. So if they take this one, then maybe yours will stay up. For some reason, I don't know why it didn't work, but I do appreciate your time. I know that you have a lot to say, and you wish you hope that everybody listens. But the proposed flavor ban is what we're talking. God, I just feel like we just did this. The proposed flavor ban. What the government is trying to say now is they're going to ban all flavored tobaccos or all flavored e-liquids except for tobacco and possibly oh no, I got 2 cameras on me. I don't know what to do. Possibly menthol. And I wanted to know, your take on it, what you think's going on with the media, with all the stories and everything. How is it affecting you personally as a vapor and as a shop owner? And also, what do you think that we can, what can we do, or how can we fight this, or how do we as the public, or we as vapors, combat this the right way, not screaming, yelling, and throwing rocks. Slowly spin no, it's not on. You hit a button, right, I think. There we go. Is it working?
Yep.
Okay, so that one's working. Let me see if the YouTube one's working still. So, what do you think? What's going on?
Right now, Michigan and New York have successfully passed their flavor bans. Mike DeWine said he's looking to do it in the state of Ohio as well. So far, nothing's happened, but a week from today is when our 10 cent per mil tax goes into effect. So it's definitely going to be affecting us big time.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it a couple months ago Mike DeWine was saying that he had no ambition to go after vaping? He didn't think it was something that he wanted to dedicate any time or energy into.
I think now that they see what's going on in Michigan and New York, they're kind of thinking the same thing.
Knee-jerk reaction?
Yep. I mean, in reality, a lot of what is going on is, people are been the culprit behind the whole thing with the deaths and people getting sick from vaping them cartridges. And some of them at this point, I believe the count is upward of 7 to 10 people that have already died from doing it. And the meanwhile, it's affecting the vape stores, obviously our bottom line. It's just scaring people away from coming into the vape stores because they think that's what's getting people sick.
Because it's all vaping across the board. Any kind of vaping whatsoever is killing everybody is what they're saying.
Correct.
Well, that's what they're trying to get across.
Yep. There needs to be a division between the two. The media, state and federal level need to come out and tell the truth instead of saying, hey, vaping's killing people. It's not nicotine. It's already been proven that it's not been nicotine and that it's been street purchased black market cartridges.
And people have woken up out of their comas and said this and stated this, but you're not seeing this huge uproar. And I think one of the biggest things that really made me say, is, if these people, and my heart goes out to the people that, that have lost family members to whatever it was, is that you're not seeing parents up in arms and screaming on TV. You haven't seen any funerals. You haven't, you don't see any of this stuff. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but at the same time, I'm sorry, but if I lost one of my one of my kids to this, you would see me on every single news media. Anybody that would listen, I'd be on street corners with sandwich boards, like everything.
Right.
And you're not seeing this. I did see, like I said, I seen a news or not a news article, but like an interview with the owner of Mr. E's e-liquid, and he was talking to the board, and he was telling them that he's going to lose 80%, 85% of his product line if this flavor ban goes into existence, and he has 80 people that work for him, and he's going to have to let them go. Mm-hmm. And which is going to put those people back on assistance until they can find a job. And in Michigan, it's really hard finding jobs right now.
Right. So they were given 14 days, as well as New York. We're both given 14 days to be in compliance to clear out all their remaining inventory. Hopefully something happens on state level to get this turned around so that they don't lose all their businesses. I mean, I'm already seeing it left and right, shops that are closing because, people are scared, afraid to walk into the vape store because they think that's what it is. The media headline says, vaping this, vaping that, when there needs to be a line drawn between the two and actually say, hey, it's from, street cannabis cartridges.
And that's the thing that really hurts me because, yes, the cartridges that they're using were vape cartridges 10, 12 years ago. The batteries that they're using are batteries that were used 10 or 12 years ago. And I think that's what they're doing is because you're vaping that liquid. That's why they're saying that it's vaping, and they're just using a broad, brush to paint us all in this picture. And it's not right. There needs to be some kind of separation between what's happening. Have you noticed any of the fallout? Or have you noticed people not coming in or sales down?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think people are nervous, if all you have is social media and the news stations to follow, which, people should be able to take what they say and make it believable. But at this point, almost every customer walks through the door and the first thing they ask is, hey, what's going on? Are you guys selling a liquid that's making people sick? Absolutely not. But I mean, people are scared, and as well they should be if they think that, liquid nicotine is what's causing this problem when the FDA, the CDC, a lot of different state agencies, New York has tested it. It's I believe they say 86% of them at this point have already been proven that, hey, these cannabis cartridges that have the vitamin E cutting agent in it is what's doing it.
And see, the thing that I have a problem is I see all these news reporters that are reporting all these, poor people that are, first of all, they're conscious and intubated at the same time. I don't understand that. And the pads that are on their chest are in the wrong spot. But the one thing that nobody's asked, just me as a regular person, would be like, what brand was it? What flavor was it? Nobody's saying, oh, this was XYZ, vape company or whatever, and it was strawberry. Nobody's saying any of that. They're just saying it was an e-cigarette. Just like back in the day when they're saying e-cigarettes were exploding at an alarming rate, and if that wasn't the case, because that's what I would want to know. I mean, wouldn't you want to know, first of all, what flavor line or what company it was?
If there was a specific brand, which we all know it isn't, they should be coming forward and saying it. But a lot of the people that have gotten sick from it, are they a little bit younger? Are they afraid to admit to their parents that that's what they were using? And it's being targeted at us. In the meantime, there's stores closing left and right.
Over kids that are afraid to get in trouble saying what they were actually vaping.
I mean, and there are people that are stepping forward and saying, yes, I was using a cannabis cartridge previous to, getting sick and being hospitalized. And it's already been proven that that's exactly what it was.
And I haven't seen anybody say that it was Joey Smith, age 14. Everything's been 18, 21, 25, 27 years old that you've heard about them getting hurt. I haven't heard about it. And they want to put kids in the front of everything. Mm-hmm. But I haven't heard about them saying, well, no, first of all, none of them are kids. Second of all, how can we hold the the shop owners or these juice companies, how can we hold them responsible for what happens to the liquor once it comes out the door? Because people add stuff to things all the time, or people give it to their kids, or but they don't do that to liquor stores. They're not holding liquor stores accountable, and they're not holding all these other places accountable for supposedly hurting children. And we've been through this children thing before.
and with zero intentions of banning combustible cigarettes.
None. Zero.
I mean, there's so many other things to be worried about. Not that I don't think that obviously that there are kids that are getting their hands on them, but again, there was just something that was posted the other day that showed that there were 177 shops or controlled buys of underage in the state of Ohio, and there were only 3 of them at vape shops, and one of them was hit twice. So technically 2 shops in the state of Ohio that were vapor shops actually got...
Out of 177 tests, I guess you could say.
And, most of them were all carryouts, gas stations, Walmart, Walgreens, Kmart, Myers. I mean, it was straight across the board. Anybody that's, was selling it, that's where most of the busts were at. I mean, I wish I wasn't using my phone to stream because I could pull up some of that data and actually show, which one of these stores and places that are selling them. And a lot of them are starting to pull. Like Walmart said they're pulling all vape products out of their stores, and yet they're
and rightfully so
on the shelf.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that you should be able to buy vape supplies at Walmart. I don't think you should be able to buy it at a gas station. This is what
like liquor. You can't buy liquor from a gas station or carry out. You have to go to a liquor store. And as I think that vape products should be bought at a specialty store and where we're IDing. I've got a third-party identification scanner. We use it. If I don't think you're of age and your identification is not correct, something's wrong with it, it's fake, you're not getting your stuff.
Furthermore, if you hear that somebody's coming in and through talking with them, what you do to every single customer that comes in here, if you find out that they are purchasing it for their children, we refuse to sell. I see you turn them away and you push them out the door.
Yes.
Because and I've said before, I know that there's parents out there that they buy these supplies and they buy vape products for their kids because they rather them vape than smoke because they hear that it's safer, they know that it's safer. I'm not saying it's correct. Right. I don't think that's something you should do. If you're under the age of 18 or 21, respectively, wherever you live, I don't think you should be able to do that. But there are parents that decide to make that decision for them. So how can they hold you accountable if they're the ones that are doing it? So what do we do to combat that? First, I think we need to stop online sales. I think that needs to happen right now.
Without a doubt. You can go to eBay right now, which I've been reporting a lot of the stuff, but you can go to eBay right now and buy liquid with absolutely, positively no age verification process in place. So, kids are finding their way to get it one way or another, but it's definitely not coming from the vape shops. I mean, that's not what we're here for.
It just posted. Our other video just posted up on YouTube. The one that we just did, so that one's up. But I'm not going to stop this one. We'll say it again. So then they say that it's impossible. They say there's no way that we can stop online sales only. But they think that there's a way to stop all vaping altogether. What do you think is going to happen if these laws go through?
It's just going to cause a black market. I mean, it's already been going on for a long time. But if they do away with all the vape stores and get rid of us, people are going to go in, they're going to buy their VG, their PG, their flavoring, their nicotine online, and now you've got people in their house that they just shouldn't be doing it. They're going to be manufacturing and making the stuff in their basement, and you think that we have a problem now? Wait until all the vape stores are gone and you've got, Joe Blow out there making stuff and selling it. Do you think there's a problem with it now? It's going to end up
it's going to skyrocket. Yeah. And that's the thing. You're going to see people are going to start making it because they want to make it for themselves. But they're like, hey, wait a second. My buddy said I'd give me $10 if I make him a bottle.
Right.
Then what? And then with the whole vitamin E thing, which drives me nuts, it's, especially with THC, excuse me. I don't know how much it is wholesale for the suspension, but I know to buy a 30 ml bottle of the suspension, it's $25 or $30. Where you can buy a 5-gallon bucket of vitamin E oil for $25.
Right.
How many carts you think you're going to be able to make? So that's, I think that you're going to see that just grow exponentially if you decide to ban all flavors, and people are going to
just going to send people back to combustible cigarettes when we know there's 500,000 Americans a year that die from smoking-related illnesses. I mean, do the math. It's almost one person every 60 seconds that's dying of a smoking-related illness.
And how many have died from traditional vaping?
As of today, 0.
Okay, how many people have died because they know the Clintons?
True.
Lots. Have you seen all the memes and stuff that happen, like with Tekashi 6ix9ine, how he's ratting on everybody, like, I'm waiting for, I know what's in vape, because this guy's
right.
But that's the thing, like it's a very serious issue for me. But I've seen this turn into a meme thing, and it's turned into this thing to laugh about. And it's just not these random people here that are laughing. There's other countries that are laughing at us right now.
I mean, most of all, we need to get the consumers. We need to get you guys involved. Pick up the phone, call the state house, use Twitter to send messages to the president. Need to call the White House. I mean, we've got these all over the shop with the information, with the phone numbers. I mean, if you care about vaping, and which I'm sure that a lot of people that are watching the stream or will watch the stream, they do care. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's about harm reduction. I mean, I've never ever claimed anything that wasn't true. Obviously anything that you put into your lungs that's not oxygen isn't good for you, but vaping's about harm reduction. I mean, you go across over in the UK, they're putting hospitals in their vape stores in their hospitals over there. They are embracing this. They're saying that it's 95% less harmful than smoking a traditional cigarette. So we've never claimed it to be the end all be all, but I mean, we've gotten 1,000 plus, thousands of people to quit smoking combustible cigarettes and got them onto vaping. And I mean, there is an off ramp for vaping where you start with a 12, A6, A3, A0, and eventually you get off of vaping. Where tobacco, 50% of the users that continue to smoke, the off ramp is a grave.
That's
like
it.
you're gonna die. Period. And everybody that's watching will be watching. You have family members that have died from smoking cigarettes. My grandmother, she had issues because she smoked, and that's what we're about. We want to get people away from smoking cigarettes, and again, with everything that's going on, in the climate of vaping, we need the consumers. We need you guys to get involved. I mean, we're going to the State House. I don't know if Dave's also streaming, so I'm going to put it in front of his as well. But we're going to the State House on Monday, Tuesday, October 1st, and both the shops will be closed. All the employees, all our shop employees will be down there. And anybody else that wants to go is welcome. You can convoy down with us. Dave said he has an additional 3 seats. We'll be leaving out of Toledo at about 7:30 a.m. It's pretty early. We got to be there. The thing is from 11 o'clock till noon, so we're going to try being there by 10:30. So we're set up. We get some parking and figure out where everything's at. But I mean, most of all, it can't just be the shop owners that are
That's right.
pushing to save the industry at this point. We need the consumers to step up. Go on YouTube, tell people your story, how you started smoking, how you started vaping to quit smoking. Like, tell your story. Tell them what flavors you were using. Because at this point, Michigan is moving into a lot of the stores are obviously going to close. They're only allowing, I believe, at this point, tobacco and menthol. I think they're trying to pull menthol as well. People know as well as I do, tobacco flavors suck. They are terrible. And I want to say less than 5% of the people that buy liquid from us are buying anything but tobacco.
He didn't freeze. He's reading. But see that brings up my my point.
Smoked
Like,
and vaped for a year and quit everything without vaping. I probably would have never quit smoking. Right.
and that's all you have to do on those petitions. Those petitions are pre-filled out, and there's a little box where you can put your story. And everybody, instead of just clicking, which I hope you do click, but if you can take 5 minutes out of your day and just put your story in there and just let them know, this is what I did. I'm a 12-year vapor. June 6th will be my 12-year anniversary. I started on Black Cherry from Blue. I was one of the beta testers for Blue, and then I moved on to Halo when I found they were the first online company. And then for them, I went with it was Kringle's
turn you all on like
Kringle's Curse, and the other flavor that I got was what was that other? There's Kringle's Curse and that super menthol. I can't think of the name of it. You used to carry it. Sub-Zero.
Yes.
That's it, Sub-Zero. Those are the flavors that helped me. I never looked back. For 12, I never said, oh God, I think I want to remember what a cigarette tastes like. I never did that. Never in a million years did I, or 12, oh sorry, never in 12 years did I ever do that. I never thought about going back smoking. And I don't. Even if they do ban this, I'm not going to go back to smoking. I know people that know how to mix properly. I know, and I have my own devices, and I know how to build. But one of the biggest issues that I push is that's me. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the future smokers that want to quit smoking and won't have this as an opportunity. This isn't an option for them. So they're going to have to go with Chantix. And we all know about the side effects of Chantix. They have to go to, hypnosis, which, the fail rate of hypnosis is astronomical. Excuse me. I just hit puberty. My balls just dropped. But, they're not going to have this. And I can't sit back and let this happen without doing something. I'm not one of those people that have a lot of money to donate to things. So all I can do is put up my cameras and put up my gear and try to get the word out. I will do this every day if I have to. And I've been doing this every day. I've been putting shows up every day just to say what's going on, the new crazy things that's happening. But it's not on you, the shop owner. It's not your fight. I can't sit here as a customer and be like, oh man, I hope Jimmy really gets
all of our fights. It's my fight as well as it is yours.
But we can't wait for you to do something. We can't wait for shop owners or somebody else. There is no somebody else. It's us. We have to do this. If you have a family member or you have a friend or you have anybody that you care for that's a vapor, hopefully I'm one of them, Jimmy's one of them. Hopefully you'll sign these petitions and you'll help us. You'll help us save these flavors. It's not the flavors that the kids are getting addicted to. It's the buzz. They're hitting these little closed systems because it's 50 milligrams of nicotine. They don't care about the flavor. Ban the flavors. You think they're going to stop using those? It's still going to be 50 milligrams of nicotine. They're still going to hit the tobacco flavor, even though they don't care. They just want that buzz. That's what they're looking for. It has nothing to do with flavor. Nothing at all. And
it has to do with money and people. I mean, we're at a all-time low smoking rate in the United States.
And directly from vaping.
Right. But the government nor the state will admit to that. They want to act like that was something that they did. It was the vapor industry that has brought the smoking rates down.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, at the end of the day, we don't want your kids. We don't want to sell to your kids. We ID. We don't let you in. If we think that you're underage, you're going to get booted. We've got
and not even not purchase. They're not allowed in the store.
Correct. We ID the minute that you walk into the door.
And you've been doing that since way before they told you that you needed to do that.
Yes, and I want to say 3 years ago, was when we actually brought in a third-party scanner. That way we were able to scan it and see who you are and make sure everything that matches. But, I mean, it's about harm reduction. We want to get people off of smoking, and without flavors, without us here, it's over. I mean, look what's happening in Michigan. They're in a panic right now. New York, they're in a panic. They have less than 14 days.
You have shop owners from Michigan trying to get a hold of you to buy their product because they have to get it because that 4 bottles is a 2-year sentence. They got hundreds of thousands of bottles.
3 bottles in Michigan, I believe, right now is a $200 fine and possibly 6 months in jail.
Okay, 6 months. I'm sorry.
But yes, we are having shop owners call both of our shops trying to off their merchandise. They're trying to sell it because, they may have $100,000+ wrapped up in merchandise that in 14 days it is impossible to do. And I believe in New York, you can't get caught with that. I think New York, you're in even deeper water than you are in Michigan.
And that's the problem. Now then we have 6 months. If this takes effect, we have 6 months where we can appeal. But what shop is going to last?
6 months, no one's going to live through that. Not any shops in Michigan. I mean,
and how many customers are going to live through that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Hurry up and buy 6 months worth of juice right now?
I mean, everybody seems to think, obviously our Toledo store is very close to the Michigan line and that, hey, you guys, your sales are going to increase because of this. It's not that I think eventually it won't happen, but that's not what we're looking for. I would rather the Michigan stores be able to, continue to do business. But, I mean, at this point, I think they're less than a week away from, basically having to close up their stores. I mean, like I said earlier, James Jarvis, the president of the Ohio Vape Trade Association, said 11 stores that he's aware of at this point that have already closed in Ohio. And I'm sure there's just as many that he hasn't seen or don't know about. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they're just dropping like flies because people are afraid to come in because of what's happening on the media.
And they're
just saying vape, it's vape. People are dying from vaping. There should be a different name, a different.
I like what you said in the other show.
E-cannabis.
Yeah, e-cannabis or e-joints or something.
Yes, just not. It's not what we sell. We don't sell it. We are not legally able to sell that stuff. You have to go to a dispensary. People, quit buying the shit off the street. If you're going to do it, go get your card. Go to a dispensary where the stuff is being tested. buy from them. Don't buy from Joe Blow off the street. You don't know what you're getting. You really don't. I mean, people dying there. The proof's in the pudding.
And it's going to happen at an alarming rate if this flavor ban comes to pass.
Oh yeah, it's going to make it much worse because now you've got everybody thinking that there's some kind of mixologist at home, and then they're going to be selling it. I mean, it's what happens.
And we have a humongous generation of Tide Pod eaters. And you want them to have 100 milligrams of liquid nicotine, and how long is it going to take before they drip it on their coils? Be like, bro, vape this, and they're not going to get sick. Okay, these kids aren't going to get sick; they're going to die. And by kids, I mean 18 to 24, 25 years old. Like, they're going to die, and that I don't think we should be putting mixing into the public's hands. There's a reason why we don't let them mix their own alcohol. You're still not allowed to make your own alcohol. That's still illegal. You're still not allowed to You're not even allowed to grow your own tobacco plant. That's a mandatory 25 years in prison federal. That's 100% done. But yet here we are going after vaping. And I think you said it great in the other show, is like, because we're a drop in a bucket. Our money that we put back into the community.
It's all about blood money. They're losing money in tobacco revenue. The states are, their tobacco bonds are defaulting. They're not making their money, and they've already spent next year's MSA money. I mean, really, that's what it is they're getting millions upon millions of dollars kickback from big tobacco. And I mean, anybody can see through the bullshit.
And and that money from big tobacco is supposed to go towards schools and to like combat smoke, child smoking with the truth campaigns and all that other stuff. But
the state of Ohio, from what I've read, says that they're using less than 0.5% of the MSA money to actually go towards what it's supposed to be going towards.
So where's that money going? How do you figure?
Probably but nobody wants pockets.
But nobody wants to ring that bell and say, hey, why don't we find out where this money's going? Because I would like to know. I would really like to know where this money's going. So you're sitting here saying vaping, but you're making these backdoor handshakes, with big tobacco, big pharma, and the FDA, and to get more money to not put it to where it's supposed to go.
I mean, look, I believe it's Iowa where the senator there went live and said that they tested a bunch of e-liquid that they bought from random stores, and there was opiates and cocaine and all this garbage in the e-liquid. And then to find out that their test strips were designed for urinalysis tests, the company that they bought them from has come forward and said, absolutely not. We did not test any of it. They did it themselves, and that there's a 40% success rate with using it for what they wanted it for. They also used them same test strips on Red Bull, which came back positive for cocaine. Well, guess which senator's getting ready to be sued right now because the company he bought, I think it was Beech Tree, that they bought the strips from, are going after them, and as did all the companies whose liquid
they showed in the video.
Yes, they did. Which I believe Naked 100,
Naked 100
Savior
was
Vape,
Savior was the big one that said they're filing a lawsuit against them right now.
They said unless they do a retraction at the State House, a public retraction, that they're going to go after them and sue them,
and rightfully so.
But at this point, the damage is done. They don't care about the money that they're being sued for if it ever
and that's pocket change.
Yes.
To them. So you're going to take a few $1 million from us.
It was all about scare tactics. But anybody that watch it, I mean, go on to our Facebook page or my personal page. You'll see I put up the video. It's like 20 minutes long, but I couldn't get through 3 minutes of it without my stomach turning over and like, this is utter bullshit.
And I'm sorry, but if your liquids that you have here in the shop contain cocaine and all these other
line around the corner,
man, and you better raise your prices, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, I don't understand how.
It was just utter BS, and they knew it.
And a lot of people are saying that there is no long-term study. There's no long-term study to see how harmful I got to keep saying traditional vaping because we're glommed in with this, the THC carts. But it's like there is no long-term studies. I've been a 12-year vapor. You've been vaping for how long?
I'm going about 7 years right now.
Okay, 7. Why are we not Why are we not in the hospital? Why are we not
buying drugs off the street?
Okay, see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to get that across. Like, yes, there is black market THC cartos.
Get it to the consumer is really where it needs to land. Not only the people in state seats and federal seats, that type of stuff, but the consumer needs to know because it's still being spread through local news stations. Just everywhere. You're
inundated
literally
with
everywhere, and they need to rephrase how that it's coming across to people because it's scaring people away from what I consider one of the largest innovations of my lifetime Just think if vaping was mainstream 20 years ago, how many more people
Man.
would be alive today?
Absolutely. And
because they quit smoking cigarettes.
And I think that we learned a lesson with A Billion Lives. I did want to bring that up. We had this movie that came out, A Billion Lives, that talks about the benefits of vaping and all the bullshit that's going on with it and everything. And you had to call and actually get it into your a local theater so you could watch it. And you had to have so many tickets sold. And we did our due diligence and we sold those tickets. But what we did is we gave those tickets to a bunch of vapors.
Right.
So while you got a whole theater full of vapors that already know the answers and already knows the truth, we should have took those tickets and we should have donated them to people that are sitting on the city council and to doctors and to lawyers and to people that proponent or people that are opposed to vaping and had them watch it. And I think we kind of missed the point on that. That's why I'm trying to do this, to get it out to anybody that'll watch for a couple of minutes. Right. Just please watch and do your research, and then you'll see. I mean, start off with Dr. Filistinos and his report. This is a third-party report. He had no way either way. He didn't care he didn't. He has no investment in vaping. He had no investment in the FDA or big tobacco. He just did a complete independent study, and that was a wonderful study, but nobody wants to say anything about it because it wasn't from the U.S. Well, the U.S. isn't doing this because the U.S. wants that money. They need that money.
There's great doctors right now that are stepping
Now there are. Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, is it a day late and a dollar short? Right. We need this has got to stop. Like, at what point do you have to just throw your hands up and be like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I'm watching these commercials now at night where, it shows these kids and vaping and they got like these bubbles or these little animals and aliens crawling through their veins and stuff and saying that it's, all this bad, horrible things in it. And it's just insane. I'm watching this. I'm like, how can you possibly get away with saying what you're saying?
They should be held accountable for spreading misinformation.
But like you said, it doesn't matter. Let's put this out there. We'll pay the $2 million fine because we said something bad, but we're still going to continue to put it out there.
Right.
We fought the battery thing. We fought the label thing. We fought the, enticing to children thing. Like, we've already had these fights. It's just now they got dad involved. So Daddy Trump's going to get out here and knee-jerk reaction, the first proponent of fake news, and then sit there and side with fake news without doing any kind of report.
Well, if he doesn't turn around what he's saying, he's not going to make it to 2020.
We have enough to sway a vote. So.
We do. I mean, they say that there's 13 million plus vapors in the U.S. right now. And if we can get everybody out and get everybody voting, he's going to have his butt kicked out of the presidency.
And same with Mike DeWine, same with Gretchen, same with Cuomo. Like those guys, we voted you in too. We can vote you out just as easily.
The good thing, we've got some amazing people on our side. We've got the VTA, we've got Safada, we got CASA, we got the Ohio Vape Trade Association.
Yes, sir.
Which, James Jarvis, man, love you. You've been awesome for us.
Thank you, James, for everything that you do.
He's really stepped up to the plate. But again,
and a lot of these,
say it a million times, we need the consumer to step up. We really, really need you guys to show up and make the phone calls, call the State House, call the White House. Like, we need you guys big time, or we won't be around much longer.
And a lot of these juice companies are stepping up. Naked, has donated over $1 million.
Naked stepped up in a big way that no one else has. I mean, from what I know, a lot of these, Naked and several others, they're part of almost every state advocacy group in the United States and are donating and doing what they can to support and make sure that we don't go away.
No, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people think that, vape shop owners are making money hand over fist and they're multi-millionaires. And
we're just regular Joe Blows that come in, we do our shift, and hopefully we get some people in so we can have our McDonald's Happy Meal at the end of the night. I'm not eating at, some high-end restaurant every night.
And you're here every day.
Yes.
You are here every day. You're not like, I opened up the doors and then you don't see me. They don't know who owns this place. I think the only people that don't know that you own this place are the Google people that keep calling you, telling you need to update your map. That's about it. But you're always here. You answer the phone and you're here. And then, like I said, you could have 10 or 15 people in here and you're going to give everybody their time that they need. You're not just throwing shit in their hands and putting them out the door.
Right.
And it used to be before all this happened. It went a step further where you'd show them how to operate their device. You show them how to load their coils. You show them how to fill their juice, the proper way in their tanks.
As you should.
But now that's taken away from you.
Right.
You're not even allowed to show them. You can't say this is how you fill it. This is how you change out your coil.
Well, because they're cutting off our hands because they know if they cut our hands off from helping people,
Well,
they're going to have failure rates. They're going to have issues, and they're going to go back to combustible cigarettes.
and that's what the gentleman from Mr. E's was saying. We have all these regulations that you've jumped us through. We had to, had to send in our SKUs. We had to send in our recipes. We had to send in our ingredients, not only for the liquid themselves, but for the bottles and labels. The labels had to have at least 30% of the label had to say this may contain nicotine, or nicotine's an addictive chemical or whatever. It's on all the bottles that are up there. And we jump through all those hoops. But if you do this flavor ban, guys, if this happens, if this flavor ban goes through, you no longer have those regulations. So anybody can put anything in those bottles and sell them to you, because it's just Joe Schmuck off the street. It's not a reputable company. And then they're going to find out they can make bigger profit using cheaper ingredients. And then you're just going to have this huge explosion of more people getting hurt or more people getting sick. And that's what we need to stop. We need to stop this. And, I think it's awesome that Jimmy's going to take off, October 1st. He's shutting the stores down, and we're going to go down to Columbus, and we're going to just make our voices heard. Let them know that we support the people that are supporting us. And once again, if anybody needs a ride or anything like that, if you're local, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me. I got 3 seats open,
yes, 4 the merrier.
4 if you're skinny. And, I'm going down regardless. So if you need a ride, please feel free to come down. And, I will do these shows day in and day out. I'd love to do this while we go down in Columbus, but I don't think this way is going to be possible. But I'll definitely have my phone. I'll definitely be going live, and I definitely will be heard. And if you guys do call the White House, or you call your state representatives or anything like that, please don't call with the scare tactics that they've been using. Please don't do that. Don't call and shake your fist and scream and curse and yell. Just tell them the facts. That's all they need. Just give them the proof. How did you start? What flavors did you use? And why do you think that this is something that doesn't need to be done? And have a nice day. That's all you need to do. You don't need to scream and yell, because if you start acting crazy like that, that's what they want. They want us to show that we're a bunch of hooligans out here that are just starting problems and stuff like that. That's not going to do a bit of good. So if you do call the White House and you do happen to get through with somebody that's going to listen to you, tell them your story. That's all you have to do, is just tell them your story. And, you try to be articulate. If you have to, write it down first. Keep it to 60 seconds or, 2 minutes or something like that, without, screw you guys. And, we don't need that. What we need is people just to get their story out there. That's all we need is facts, period. And I think they're hearing us. They are hearing us. We just need to be louder. Hashtag louder, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Basardo started that, and I've just been holding on to it as much as I possibly can. And, I was scared. I seen all the stuff that was happening, and I wanted, I always quote, make sure you have quantifiable proof if you're going to say something. So I went and, I had my lungs tested. They would only give me an x-ray. They would not give me a full CAT scan. What they do is they start off with an x-ray. If they see any kind of inclusions, then they can order the CAT scan. I'm 15 years too young for a, preventative check for a CAT scan. So I did have my lungs checked, and I did get my results, and left lung completely clear, right lung completely clear, no inclusions, no need for any further observation. I mean, I'm a 12-year vapor, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand how much more you need, how much more proof you need for, the fact that this is not, unless I'm a superhero, and Jimmy is a superhero, and everybody that I know that vapes is a freaking superhero, and it's just a couple of kids that weren't superheroes, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense that there's people out there that, are dying from vaping 5 weeks ago. Five freaking weeks. Really? What happened for the past, 11 and a half years? Why hasn't this happened? And it's in other countries too. People are, you have people what was it, India? They banned it all together. They proposed to ban it all together. I don't think
based
it passed.
on what's happening in the United States.
Yeah. So they're seeing this, the same thing, knee-jerk reactions. Well, look at the U.S. is saying this, so let's try to follow suit because then we get people smoking. But they have one of the highest child smoking rates ever. That doesn't make sense to me. The reason why they're spending so much money and so much time into this shit is because vaping works. And they're pissed off because they don't have a bigger portion of it. And that's where it comes down to. It comes down to money, bottom line. I can't do it no more, man. I can't just sit by and watch the industry that saved my life. And I 100% believe that it saved my life. I can't just sit by and watch it just be completely destroyed by false news and false reports. Now, if it was a report, like I said, what was the name of the liquid these people were smoking or vaping? What was it? What flavor was it? Can I please find it? All of them have batch numbers now, and it'll be easy to find out if something got tainted. We could figure this out. It's not that hard. And to the naysayers that are like, well, they said that cigarette smoking was safe until 30 years afterwards. We found out it was bad for us. That was in the 50s and the 60s. This is 2019. Technology has taken a huge leap and a huge, advances. I am a long-term study. I'm a long-term study, so please study me. If anybody wants to donate the $444 it's going to take for me to pay for a CAT scan out of pocket, I'll be more than happy to do it, and I'll post up the results. But I don't think I have that issue. I can bend over and tie my shoes. I can go out and play with my dog. I can run around with my kids. I'm no longer, winded just by, walking up a flight of stairs. Food tastes better, and that's the thing. Like, I decided to have the gastric sleeve surgery because I'm addicted to food, period. And I had to do something about it. I've tried all the other traditional ways and it didn't work out for me. So I decided to better my own life by having the gastric sleeve surgery. So now I don't eat that fast food stuff and I'm not eating all the junk. Are you going to go and ban the doctors that do the gastric sleeve surgery because you're not getting money because I'm not going to eat fast food? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I chose to save my life. I'm an adult. I made that decision. These adults are making their decision to walk through this door every day and save their life. And what we have to do is we have to fight to help the future people that want to get off smoking be able to walk through this door and save their life. That's the bottom line. Absolute bottom line. So instead of saying, I can't wait for somebody to fix this, somebody should do something, it's you. It's up to you. All the vapors and all the family members of vapors, you need to sign these petitions. You need to make these phone calls, and you need to help us fight against this flavor ban, because what it's going to do is push us back to smoking, back to being sick, and back on medication. And then big pharma, big tobacco, and the FDA start having the money roll back in again. That's my bottom line. All right, guys. Well, you take care of yourself. I hope to God this has been somewhat informal for you. I'm sorry. I just seen that the first show popped up. I thought it got deleted. And now there's back-to-back shows. So there's 2 for the week. And we'll do more. As long as Jimmy wants me to come in here, I'll come in here every Tuesday and I'll do a show and we'll do updates. So thank you, Jimmy, for your time. And I appreciate it. And we will see you guys October 1st. Is that next Tuesday?
Tuesday of next week is when we go to the State House. And with that, I think we're going to close the stream out. But like I said, anybody that wants to go, next Tuesday, October 1st, we're leaving out of Toledo at about 7:30, 7:15, 7:30. Anybody that wants to go, let us know, man. We would love to have you guys by our sides down there at the State House. And
we need to have you by our sides. We need to. So,
all right.
Take care, guys.
Have a good day.